So you want to raise chickens for meat for your small farm or homestead, and you're deciding what breed of chicken do you want to raise in order to get the most benefit for where you are, both in terms of financials, how much money you need to make from these birds, but also your ethics on how you feel they should be raised and how that lines up with how you see the world. So we're going to go over the three main choices that you have today on the production breed versus the heritage breed and everything in between, and go over some of the questions that you want to ask your hatchery, some of the things you're going to ask as you are producing birds for meat, and then the concessions you'll make along the way if you want to scale this into a bigger operation. So let's jump right in. So looking at right here, we have our three breeds laid out. We have our Cornish Cross, our Red Ranger, and our dual purpose heritage breed bird. And what we're going to see is that with the Cornish Cross bird, this is a production breed where they raise 20,000 to 50,000 of them in a barn at a time. And now you're taking a bird that was engineered for a specific purpose and bringing it to pasture and introducing a lot of variables that are going to make the efficient bird a little less efficient than it would be in the major commercial houses. But those are the things that we are embracing because we want to raise birds out on pasture with regular movement, leaving their poop behind, getting onto a fresh salad bar, making a better life for the bird, the farmer, and the end consumer. So we have our production breed of Cornish Cross. You have your Red Ranger birds that are more tailored towards meat. They're not going to be good for eggs, but they are going to take longer to grow out than the Cornish Cross. And then you have your heritage dual purpose birds of different varieties. Not this guy. This guy's never going to be a good meat bird, but you'll have some good crossovers, and we can go, there's hours of content on talking about specific chicken breeds, but breaking it down into these specific types is how we're going to navigate what our birds are for meat. So starting with the Cornish Cross. Cornish Cross is going to give you a 4.5 pound carcass at 7 weeks, a 5.5 pound carcass at 8 weeks. And the length of time is going to be determined on whether you want to sell them whole and how many dollars per pound you're getting for selling a whole bird, which is less popular these days. It's more that you're cutting the birds up and selling the parts. You get more money per bird out of that, and it's more convenient for the customer. You'll see those products fly a little faster. For that, you would hang on to the Cornish Cross until about 8 weeks and then cut them up, part them out, and put your packages together. With a Red Ranger, where for 11 to 12 weeks, where 11, same thing, 11 weeks is going to be that 4.5 pound bird, 12 weeks, maybe more towards a 5 pound bird, not 5.5. Results may vary depending on your management and how good you are, but you're going to get a slightly slower growing bird that is more resilient, and you'll have less mortality based on all the weird crap that happens with Cornish Cross chickens. Then you have your heritage breeds birds, which are dual purpose. And if you're trying to be good at everything, you're good at nothing. So they're not good egg layers and they're not good meat birds, but they're a good middle of the road. You can have very productive egg layers and you can have very productive meat birds, but you can't have a bird that does both very well, depending on what your goals are. If your goals are financial, or at least a big part of them are if you're running a business, then you're going to want a more productive breed that you're going to raise in a better way than the commercial way. And that better way is the value that you're adding into the commercial breed to make it stand apart from what is in the grocery store. And that's what your marketing is going to be based on when you're trying to sell these to other people. So you have your choice. What I see in the field right now between the three breeds, let's have some real talk and then we'll wrap this video up. It'd be a nice quick one. Cornish Cross is a commercial breed. There's a ton of information on how to raise them properly. There's the people who are raising them at scale for sale for other people to consume are raising this bird because it's fast growing, it's predictable. We're taking a commercial breed and we're raising it in a more healthy environment. That healthy environment introduces some new stressors that you have to be aware of because this breed is more fragile. But if you're looking to scale and grow, this is the closest bird that has the type of meat closer to what people are used to experiencing in the store. So it's not as big of a leap when you're converting people. So this is like top of funnel stuff where Cornish Cross is going to get people in the door with that pastured poultry system. I don't like Cornish Cross birds, although I've raised a ton of them, just because it is that commercial breed and they're very fragile and they mutate and it's not an awesome chicken. Tasty and delicious, sure, especially when raised the correct way, or we'll say the pasture-based way. Correct or not will be up to you. But the Cornish Cross bird, solid bird, fast growing, people know it. And people know that meat type, but you can get enough nuance with the way you raise it by benefiting from a better lifestyle. And then it's part of a good farm story for quick turnover, healthy meat, something you can get off the ground pretty quick and easy. I like the Red Rangers a lot. The Red Rangers just went for a small scale point of view. Is going to be very hardy, is going to be a better forager, is going to be more forgiving of your mistakes as an early grower, but you're adding almost a month extra of labor when you go from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. So it's something that you're going to have to do for an additional 4 weeks. Your systems are going to get better once you realize that chickens need grit and you need to be on top of their grit supply, the right grit at the right time, the rocks that they eat in order to chew and digest. Your efficiency is going to go through the roof, but grit is for another video. With these Red Rangers, you're going to spend some more time on them. It's a little bit gamier of a meat because they're alive for longer. They move around longer. The difference between light meat and dark meat is movement. So your legs and your wings are your dark meat. Your breast, which doesn't move around a lot, is your light meat on a chicken. And so with the Cornish Cross, they don't move around a lot in general. So you're working towards like a mostly light meat bird, where the Red Rangers, you're going to have more dark meat. And that's something that your customers may or may not be used to. In your area, it could work, but it's going to, results may vary. And with these Red Rangers, you have to be prepared for that extra month of labor and time, and having fewer rotations in a year, totally doable. There are people in Connecticut that do it. There are people all over across the country. It's a more hardy meat bird. And then I think I already said my piece on the dual purpose birds. You can have a bird that's good for eggs or a bird that's good for meat. But meat and eggs on any kind of more effective, efficient scale there's going to be arguments. It just doesn't exist. It's not, no one who is doing this for a commercial operation is going to go that route. That said, lots of concessions that you make on the homestead to make yourself more sustainable. You accept those inefficiencies of them not being great for one thing or the other, but getting dual purpose. And a dual purpose breed that is hardy, has a good frame, goes through the winter really well, like your Australorps, love that bird, is going to be great on the homestead, especially if you start hatching your own eggs and you're not sexing your birds, you're letting them grow up, and then the roosters you're turning into soup birds, and the hens you're keeping on as layers. A whole other way to approach this. But what I'm looking for in my content here in Farm Marketing Solutions, if you're getting into this, there is a path to commercial viability and making money, real good, a decent living, hard living, but a decent living raising birds. But you're going to select breeds based on your personal motivations, your business motivations, and then what you want to see from the performance of those birds as they live out their lives and then turn into something delicious for us to roast and eat and put on our plates and be grateful for. At the end of the day, that choice is up to you. What is best? I'd be curious to hear which breeds you raise in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.